from Wingate University and WUTV. This is Wingate Today.
Coming up, Wingate Volleyball is in elite company, a trip to the NCAA National Championships. You want to know how to relieve your stress? These guys have a secret they'll tell you, and it's working at college campuses all across the country. And he's a town commissioner, firefighter, and worked at Wingate for years. You'll meet him in our Alumni Spotlight. But first, Wingate University goes global. Hello and welcome to Wingate Today. I'm Jeff Atkinson. From the Top is a radio show broadcast internationally that features young classical musicians from across the U.S., along with their extraordinary personal stories. It's hosted by acclaimed pianist Christopher O'Reilly and heard on 250 national public radio stations around the world. In November, the cast and crew of From the Top came to Wingate for a live taping of their radio show, and Kristen Johnson covered them while they were here. This was pretty exciting. How was it?
Jeff, it was amazing to see these young musicians perform. Two young ladies, specifically a piano duo from the Charlotte area, are just 17 years old. And here's the kicker. When you listen to them play, keep in mind they've only been playing together for about a year.
I'm Clara Gertis and I'm 17.
I'm Hannah Wang and I'm 17 years old.
There's passion behind the skill that flows through these fingers and finds the right chords to make a beautiful melody.
I would play when I was like 2. I would just like bang on the keys, and my parents kind of had me start taking lessons when I was 6, and I just have grown to really enjoy it a lot ever since then.
My mom claims that when I was like 2.5 or something, we had a piano in my house and I just like climbed on the bench and started playing it.
Talent, these two were practically born with it, but playing together, that takes time and patience.
There's this whole issue of having to share the keyboard with the other person, and who puts whose hands where, and what if one person has to play on top of the other person? Literally, we have to do that in a couple places during one of our pieces. And pedaling is a challenge too, because sometimes you have to pedal in a way that highlights the other person's melody.
And so it's that level of collaboration where you're literally like breathing together and thinking on the same level. You really have to have like the same brain waves or whatever. That's something that takes time to perfect, and we're still working on it.
Students at Benton Heights Elementary School of the Arts got a sneak peek at the young performers. Inspiring these impressionable minds was just a warm-up before showcasing their skills on an international stage. The stage tonight here at Wingate University's own Bat Center. Before the taping, host Christopher O'Reilly sat down for an interview at WDAV 89.9 FM radio.
How would you describe From the Top?
It's a variety program where we get to hear the performances and get to know the personalities of pre-college age classical musicians.
From the Top is a familiar program to Clara and Hannah, being their craft contains a lot of classical music. The two decided to submit an application this past summer when they heard the taping would take place not far from their homes.
Clara called me and I just sat in like stunned silence for about 30 seconds, and then we both screamed together.
It means so much. It's really a privilege and a joy to get to do this.
What you take away from the program is usually that these kids are extraordinary seekers of excellence, and they happen to have classical music as part of their lives.
You are truly a great piano team, and I know really good friends, but you say that you're not at all alike. So Hannah, point out the differences.
Well, there are a few, to say the least. I mean, we come from very different family backgrounds. My family's Chinese, Clara.
I'm German American, mostly.
I go to a really big public school with like 3,000 kids.
I'm homeschooled.
And while the pair's playing may inspire others, they too say they find inspiration in their young musician counterparts, all officially joining the ranks of pint-sized virtuosos whose passion now shines on public radio. Again, these young ladies are only 17 years old, and this isn't the only instrument the two play. I asked where they wanted their music career to take them. They aren't quite sure yet, but Hannah told me music will always be a part of her life in some way, Jeff.
So talented. Kristen Johnson,
Definitely.
Thank you very much. The From the Top episode, taped at Wingate University, airs on December 29th at 5 p.m. on WDAV 89.9 FM. If you missed that broadcast, the show is archived on the From the Top website. Visit fromthetop.org/listen. From young performers to young admirers, Wingate rolled out the red carpet to more than 350 6th through 12th graders from around Union County, inviting them to a special performance of two one-act operas, Mozart's Bastien and Bastiena, and Offenbach's Regrets Only. For some students, it was their first experience with the opera. Musicians hope it leads to an appreciation of the art form. Wingate's opera department has hosted these school performances held during the school day for the last 6 years. Winston Churchill once wrote, "When I get to heaven, I want to spend a considerable portion of my first million years in painting, and so get to the bottom of the subject. But what is art without a home?" Wingate University's new home for art will be called the Hinson Art Museum, a 5,500 square foot facility that will be added to the Bat Center. Groundbreaking was held in mid-November. The addition, costing $1.2 million, is named for Ron Hinson, a Union County businessman who owns and operates Hinson Electric. The art gallery will house Wingate's collection of North Carolina masters, among them Ben Long, famed painter who was at the groundbreaking ceremony. The gallery is expected to be completed by next spring. It's been a season of championships for Wingate athletics. 3 teams, women's cross country, women's soccer, and women's volleyball teams, all won NCAA Division II Southeast Region Championships this fall. The volleyball team went to the national quarterfinals held in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, advancing as far as the Elite Eight for the 3rd time in the last 4 seasons. And our reporter, Ryan Brown, the voice of Bulldog Sports, covered the team's trip to the Midwest.
It's just over 1,000 miles from Wingate to Cedar Rapids, Iowa, but for 3 members of the Bulldog volleyball team, it feels like home, because it is. Freshman Abby Saylor, sophomore Shelly Stump, and junior Lexi Potter all hail within 15 minutes of Cedar Rapids, the site of this year's Division II NCAA Volleyball Elite Eight.
When Coach recruited me, I had never heard of Wingate in North Carolina, but I went out on a visit and I loved it, so I decided to go. And we all knew that I wasn't going to be able to play at home again, and I was okay with playing down in the South.
When the NCAA announced that the Elite Eight would be in Iowa this season, it was impossible for the players not to think about the chances of being able to come back home, despite head coach Shelton Collier's thoughts and cautioning the players to not look too far ahead.
Coach always told us we got to take it one game at a time, but going to the Elite Eight and having it be in Iowa was definitely our motivation. Obviously, for us 3, especially going back home to play in Iowa was on our mind.
The opportunity to play in Cedar Rapids came when Wingate won the Southeast Region title, beating Armstrong Atlantic State, and the dream of having their friends and family in the crowd was a reality.
My friends and family are coming, Abby's friends, family are coming, Lexi's friends, family are coming, so I think that we'll definitely get a crowd.
Coming in, we knew that we'd have a lot of fans cheering us on, especially us Iowa girls, and that when our names were called, we would have a really loud roar.
Potter was also caught in the pregame warm-ups looking through the crowd for familiar friends and faces.
When we were warming up, I looked up in the crowd and it was awesome to see all my friends and my family and all my old coaches, and there's so many people up there, and it was an amazing atmosphere. In
the match, the Bulldogs came up short against Wheeling Jesuit, just missing their ultimate goal and dream of making their first ever Final Four appearance, playing in front of an outstanding crowd of friends and family.
And coming in as a freshman, that's the main goal, is to make it to the Elite Eight, and to have it be at home was just even more special. The overall experience was amazing. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything better to be able to come back to my hometown with my team and to play in the Elite Eight. Despite how the game turned out, I had so much fun.
And Coach Collier shared the sentiments of the season.
We had a hugely successful season. We won our 8th straight conference championship. We were ranked in the top 10 in the country for the first time ever. We certainly had some successes to be really, really proud of.
An incredible season capped with 32 wins and just 3 losses in 2013, and a homecoming that these volleyball players won't ever forget. Reporting from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Ryan Brown, Wingate Today.
Thanks, Ryan. Bulldog volleyball head coach Shelton Collier notched his 900th career volleyball match this season, and he was named National Coach of the Year. Quite an accomplishment for the coach and his program. It's not an NCAA sport here, but no less important to these players. Wingate's rugby team took on their arch rivals, Guilford College, on the university's new intramural field in late November. It's a rivalry that goes back 8 years, and it's the first time the contest has been held here. Wingate came away victorious, winning 17-5, owning bragging rights for the next year. One player tweeted afterwards, "Results from today's game: twisted ankle, slight headache, and lost voice. Still had a blast playing today." Another Wingate tradition challenged participants to tackle the harshest of conditions. The annual polar plunge was held in the South Village pool. Students and some staff took turns jumping into the deep end to see who could stay in the water the longest. Some had help jumping in. Matt Fawcett described what it was like.
It felt almost like 100 needles going into your legs at the same time. It's pretty bad.
Water temperature 50 degrees, air temperature at the time 52. There was a contest to see who could collect the most money. The winner, or loser, depending on your point of view, takes the plunge. This year, the top vote getter was Dane Jordan, minister to students.
You don't want to have that way, but unfortunately a lot of people like Dane Jordan, or maybe not as mature, but they put a lot of money towards him. So we're very happy, and we'd like to thank everybody for doing that.
This year's theme, Freezin for a Reason. The money raised goes to Turning Point in Monroe, a charity that helps women and children who've been in abusive homes. This is the third year of the Polar Plunge. In the new year, Wingate University expands its health sciences curriculum, offering a new degree, Doctor of Physical Therapy. Wingate joins an elite number of schools offering DPT degrees: UNC Chapel Hill, Duke, Elon, East Carolina, and Winston-Salem State, and Western Carolina in the mountains. Wingate's entry makes 7 in the state, the only one in the Charlotte region. 42 students have enrolled in the initial class of this highly competitive program, which takes 3 years to finish. Applications are being accepted for the class that will enter in January 2015. To find out more, visit dpt.wingate.edu. Incidentally, physical therapist ranks number 8 in the U.S. News & World Report's list of 100 best jobs. Program directors say job opportunities look good in the field, and employment is expected to grow much faster than average thanks to rising demand for services among older baby boomers. Wingate School of Sports Sciences received a prestigious honor, obtaining accreditation from the Commission on Sport Management Accreditation, COSMA. The university joins an exclusive group, becoming one of 14 institutions in the U.S. singled out by COSMA. Wingate has the only program in North Carolina. Considering there are between 300 and 400 institutions in the world with a sport management program, university officials say this is quite an honor. Check this out, quite an honor for Wingate junior Scott Pullen. Pullen received a $500 scholarship from Sport Dimensions, Shell Oil's motorsports marketing agency. It's the first for a student at Wingate. He received a plaque and Shell apparel. The School of Sports Sciences partners with Shell on a number of initiatives, including the Fuel for Success program, Shell's nonprofit dedicated to helping underprivileged youth in America. The consultants Wingate's hired to update the university's campus master plan returned to campus in December. Consultants from Credo Higher Education met with focus groups of faculty, staff, and students to go over some of the ideas they're considering. They displayed a 3D model of the 400-acre campus to help visualize some of the possibilities. Here's the Cannon Complex and the fountain at the entrance to campus. They moved pieces around during the discussion. They say having a prop helps.
One of the things we want to make real clear is that we're not here telling you this is the plan. We've got a model with movable pieces. We're not telling you this is the plan. We're saying this is what we think would work. What do you think? And if you don't think it'll work, pick up the piece and move it.
At least 3 major plans have emerged in the 10-year plan for the campus. Consultants will present their recommendations to the Wingate Board of Trustees in January. An initiative to wipe out polio around the world, a disease that, despite vaccines, kills 5,000 people, mostly children, around the world each year. Students in the School of Pharmacy met with staff members in U.S. Senator Kay Hagan's office to push for passage of Senate Resolution 270. It's a resolution which supports the goals of World Polio Day and encourages the U.S. and others to continue funding the global effort to rid the world of polio. Students say they left the senator's office inspired and more committed to making a positive difference in their communities. 10 million shoeboxes, millions of donations, and tens of thousands of volunteers. It's what it takes to pull off Operation Christmas Child, the annual global toy drive. Wingate students packed 200 boxes, complete with a coloring book, toothpaste, and crayons, and delivered them to the Operation Christmas Child Relay Center at the Jesse Helms Center in Wingate, where a semi-tractor trailer was set up in the parking lot. The Helms Center has been a major drop-off for decades, ever since Franklin Graham launched the project and gave a speech at Wingate University in December 1997. So, how many boxes has the Helms Center been a part of?
Our rough estimate is over 90,000. We've been, one of the larger collection points, at least in this area.
Operation Christmas Child, a project of Samaritan's Purse based in Boone, North Carolina, distributes the shoeboxes to needy children around the world. It's the largest Christmas project of its kind, and this is the 20th year.
We're helping children all over the world, and if I can give up 2 hours of my time, I think that's a good price to pay. So, I mean, I feel like it's worth it.
Members of UCAN, the University Community Assistance Network, helped organize the Wingate shoeboxes. This is the 3rd year they've participated. Another gift-giving project, Delta Sigma Pi, a business fraternity on campus, sponsored a toy drive through November and December and collected new and gently used toys. Volunteers turned them over to Turnaround Toys, a nonprofit based in Waxhaw. They turn the toys around and hand them to needy families in the Charlotte region. Delta Sigma Pi collected more than 100 toys. And this story will warm your heart. In November, Wingate students observed Hunger and Homelessness Week. In one of the activities, about 50 students one evening packaged about 10,000 meals to be sent to the Southeast African nation of Uganda. Students partnered with the international hunger relief organization Stop Hunger Now, based in Raleigh. The packages include rice, soy, dehydrated vegetables, and a flavoring mix with 21 essential vitamins and minerals. Enough food to feed 6 people. Students say the experience had an impact on them, knowing their hands would be the last to touch food that would feed people facing starvation. Straight ahead on Wingate Today, what do these dogs have to do with taking final exams? You'll find out next. And later, you know him as an 11-time Olympic medalist, but he's also the subject of one art student's project. Why she chose Ryan Lochte, coming up.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you, and hopefully someday I'll be able to give back.
I just thanked Wingate for the opportunities it's given me.
Thank you, Wingate.
Wingate, thank you. From 1896 to 2013, we've come here to chase our dreams, become who we are and be the best that we can be here in this Wingate family.
Everybody's a family.
Just one big family.
I am so thankful for the opportunity to be here and to study to become a dentist.
Thank you.
I'm thankful for the opportunities that I've been given here at Wingate because of donors.
Men's lacrosse, thanks alumni!
Being a part of student government and Greek life has really helped me flourish as a leader.
Obrigado.
Dankeschön. Thank you, Wingate!
Welcome back to Wingate Today. It happens on college campuses everywhere this time of year, final exams, and it can be a very stressful time for anyone taking college courses. Ben Richardson joins us now, and Ben, you found some neat ways students are de-stressing this time of year. I'm anxious to hear this.
That's right, Jeff. Not only did I learn about how students are de-stressing, I also learned what faculty and staff are doing behind the scenes to make it happen. When you think about exams, you normally think of libraries, books, and a lot of coffee. But what you don't often see are the ways that schools help calm the students before the storm. The event is Reading Day. It happens every year the day before exams. Rather than just a typical day of studying, this year our faculty and staff members took it a step further to help our students relax. From noon to 3, students could drop in for finals yoga.
Yoga is great just for relaxation. Also, it's just a great thing to get your mind off things because you're totally concentrating on breathing and you're concentrating on moving and how your body feels, and it's totally taking you away from just all the stress and finals and studying and just giving you a little bit of a break.
After yoga, the Newfoundland therapy dogs. Students were thrilled to have them back on campus.
They're just so happy. Like, you could be upset, but seeing a dog, they just make you feel so much better. Like, there's no care in the world, and they just know how to relax you.
And there's proof for that.
I think studies show that it actually brings down your blood pressure, you know, so I think just petting them just calms you down.
After a few hours of de-stressing, it's time to hit the books. Exam time brings students to the library in herds, the likes of which they've never seen before.
I was here a couple days ago and there was like nobody in here. And so I was over here at a table with like a group of like two other people. And then the switch in the past couple days to now, there's been a huge increase of traffic. So I think exams bring people out of the woodworks.
And while students study hard, our library staff does everything they can to make the student experience more enjoyable.
We try to make it a little bit more pleasant. When we say it's time to close, it's time to go. So we play music and we have popcorn and we send them out the door with a goodie bag and happy.
And what's the day without some food? Students rally around Refuel, a bonus meal served at 9 p.m. by the staff and faculty for several nights, and students love it.
Oh my gosh, I've been coming all 4 years. I mean, you can't pass this opportunity up.
Dane Jordan, minister to students, can almost count the minutes he's been serving.
4,629 minutes, or basically about 7 years.
As you can see, Dane brings life to the party.
Just being silly and crazy and letting them see me in a different light. Usually I'm wearing a collar and a whole nun's outfit and everything, so it's a lot different.
But it's clear the reason for high participation.
Free food. Free food.
Free food.
Who doesn't like free food? I'm intrigued about the therapy dogs.
Well, this is the second time they've been back to campus, and I was out there with them, and it was just a great event. And it must be working because other colleges and universities have added this to their list of events as well.
Ben Richardson, thank you very much. For some students, the stress is over. Well, maybe for a moment. Nearly 30 students received their educational specialist degree at Wingate's Ballantyne campus in early December. The Ed.S degree, as it's known, allows them to go on to the dissertation stage toward obtaining a doctorate of education. 5 cohorts or groups from the South Charlotte campus and 2 cohorts from the Wingate satellite campus in Richmond County were recognized at a reception inside the Harris Building at Wingate University Ballantyne. High school dropouts cost Americans nearly $2 billion in lost tax revenue each year, according to the public policy group Civic Enterprises, a local organization seeking to raise graduation rates and encourage local teachers. Is the Union County Education Foundation, a 501c3 dedicated to supporting Union County Public Schools. The foundation hosted a luncheon in November. It called the event the Biz Ed Luncheon and invited members of the business and educational communities to invest dollars in our most precious and valuable resource, our kids. 5th graders from Benton Heights Elementary School of the Arts in Monroe were part of the program.
Well, I think we fill a gap. School systems throughout the state are facing increasing pressures with their local budgets, as we can all attest to. State funding is being hit, and also federal dollars are drying up in some cases. We're trying to fill that void.
Wingate purchased a table at the Biz Ed Luncheon. The group's leaders say the Union County Education Foundation came out of a need to provide help for classroom teachers. This year, the foundation awarded more than $18,000 in grant money to local teachers. He's an 11-time Olympic medalist. His 7 individual medals ranks near the top in men's swimming. He is Ryan Lotke, and he's made a connection with Wingate University. Kim Williams is on scene outside the Wingate pool to explain. Kim?
Well, Jeff, our overtime story is about one of our students who combines her love of swimming with her love for art.
But the fastest time in the world this year just clocked by Lochte.
Olympic swimmer Ryan Lochte has made a big splash at Wingate.
I've always loved art and I've always loved swimming.
Victoria Tormenti is a junior majoring in 2D fine arts. While trying to figure out what she wanted to do for an art project and looking forward to next year's senior project, she thought about what might be most interesting to her. This is her 3rd year on Wingate's swim team and the 3rd year she has studied art on campus.
And then I thought, well, who should I do? And then I figured Ryan Lochte, because he's one of the most popular swimming icons of the world right now.
She decided to do a monochromatic painting, which is one color, of swimmer Ryan Lochte, an 11-time Olympic medalist with 4 world records. It took the entire semester to complete the acrylic painting done on canvas. Victoria's swim coach, Maria Blashenko, had a picture of the painting on her phone and showed it to Ryan, who now trains in Charlotte with the Mecklenburg Aquatic Club's elite professional team.
I got to know Ryan through my friends and through his friends. We have a common friends in swimming world again. It's a really small world. And when I showed him painting, he said that it looks amazing and wonderful and he would love to have it.
So with the stroke of a paintbrush, Victoria was able to capture a swimmer's stroke while creating a portrait of this well-known athlete who now wants to purchase the painting. A series of swimming-related paintings is planned for her final senior project. Darren Young, one of Victoria's art professors, told us in an email that Victoria has talent for getting in all of the details that are needed to make the painting complete, and I believe she has achieved that. We also spoke to another of Victoria's art professors, Marilyn Hartness, who is also an avid swimmer.
It is really a joy to find someone who not only likes the subject art, but is able to put the art with a passion, like she does with the swimming.
Although Victoria still has another year of school, she may be well on her way to a successful art career with the sale of a painting to a famous athlete. Reporting on scene, Kim Williams, Wingate Today.
Thanks, Kim. Our final story this time, we didn't have to go too far. It's our Alumni Spotlight. Wingate Today contributing reporter and alum from 1995, Brian Stevenson joins us now. Hey, Brian.
Hey, Jeff. Well, a very special story about a 1965 Wingate alum, John Mangum. And as you will soon discover, it has been a very tough year for John, but this lifelong Wingate resident has persevered. If the Bulldogs are playing, then you will probably find John Mangum in the stands. But any other time, you will find him serving, either on the Wingate Town Council or here at the Wingate Fire Department.
This is the one that I drove more than anything else.
John has been with the Wingate Fire Department for 45 years. The pictures and awards in his office have added up.
Secretary-Treasurer of the Board of Directors from 1 BC to 2010 AD.
John also worked here at Wingate University for 18 years, the last 11 years as director of the Cannon Athletic Complex, a job he loved.
It was good for me because I got to be more acquainted with athletes than students just in general.
In 1997, John ran for and won a seat on the town council. Again, his servant's heart was the reason he ran.
By doing that, I was able to give back to the town and communities some of the rewards that I had received, which that has been a good experience.
But it's that servant's heart that started creating issues in early 2013. Doctors told John he needed a new heart.
Doctor said I was sicker on the inside than I appeared from the outside.
Unfortunately, there wasn't time to find a heart, so doctors made a decision to do something to buy John more time. He had surgery to implant a VAD, which is a pump to help the heart function. It was a serious surgery.
I stayed in CMC Maine for 2 months, which included about 10 days, 2 weeks rehab.
John's wife and daughter, both Wingate grads by the way, were by his side constantly and often shared updates with this Wingate family through Facebook. The response from the community meant a lot.
It was very, very humbling to have all those prayers and well wishes.
And really those prayers and well wishes meant so much to John. You may notice a bag that he has that he carries around with him all the time. That is part of the VAD that is helping power his heart. He keeps that with him at all times, and he's hoping to be back on the heart transplant list in early 2014.
Brian Stevenson, thank you very much. And that's our show for this time. Thank you for watching. We're going to leave you today in the same way that we started, with some of the sights and sounds from the NPR radio show From the Top, taped live from Wingate University's Bat Center in November. This was some of the performances. We hope you enjoy.